I've received a tonneau cover and hood in the post. This is the hood. It came with the Tenax fittings as well, which have to go in to hold the hood round, and there's a slot in the bottom here for the metal bar that has to go inside, so I can show you that once it's on the car. So looks good. From what I can tell, there's clearly a bar inside here. You can see it's split in a number of places, so that fits in the groove on the windscreen, I believe. So that's the hood. Let's have a quick look at the tonneau. This is the tonneau cover. That's clearly where the steering wheel goes, and this must come around the front of the window frame uprights. Little zips in the back. I'm sure it'll make sense once I put it on the car. And it's got some pieces in the back that must hook under the little fittings on the body. Yeah, okay. Here's the tonneau on the car. It hooks onto these fittings. There's some bits of metal sewn into those little pockets. So it just hooks on. Got it hooked on both sides, and clearly I've got to fit all these Tenax fittings into the edge. The first one I think I need to fit is at the front. Just swing the camera around. So it seems to me that to tension all of this, the first logical one to fit is this one. So you can stretch it. I'm doing this on a sort of fairly average temperature day, so hopefully the vinyl isn't going to be too difficult to stretch when it's a really cold day. So I've stretched it where I think it should go, and I've just put a little pen mark where the little Tenax fastenings pushing against the vinyl. So I've done the same at both sides, so I'll fit these two, put it back on, and then see which is the next logical one to do. This is the Tenax fitting, in case you've never seen one before. That's the bit that's mounted on the body of the car, and the Tenax fastening just clips on top of it. And to get it off, you have to lift the top piece up, and it just releases some springs that are popped around the top of that fitting. So it just snaps on, and you lever it up to lift it off. And this fitting fixes onto the vinyl with this screw piece. So there's a thread on the outside, and you just screw the two together. So I need a hole in the vinyl, the right size for this, and the way to do it apparently is to punch it through. So I bought a punch, so just whack that through the vinyl. So we'll have a go at that. Maybe my wood's too soft. Let's try a harder piece of wood. That seems to be a bit more like it. Oh yes. Hooray! We have a hole. This Tenax fitting should fit through my punched hole with a bit of luck. Yeah. Looks alright. Just sort of fits on that edge. And then there is a proper tool you can buy. Just got two pegs that are locating those little holes. Of course I haven't got it. And the top of this, it's got some little, not barbs really, but serrations that are going to bite into the vinyl on the top. So I'll just find a device to tighten that on with. One of those pliers or something. Hang on. So, pair of scissors. Seem to work alright. You don't want to ruckle up the vinyl. I think that's alright. Not going to come off, I don't think. So, get the other one done and put it back on the car and work out which one to put on next. There it is, clipped on. Just swing the camera around. That's put a nice bit of tension on, I think. Looks as though it's pulling quite a bit, but I think it needs to. Otherwise you'll probably just end up with a big pond on top of here. So, I think the next ones to fit are probably these four. Probably starting with that one and then going backwards like that. I think. So I'll get these two on, I think. There's another one there which is required for the cantrails. I assume we don't put one in for that. It's a bit wasteful, although it will make a little spike. I'll see how many I've got. So this one next, I think. All of those two. And I can see I'm going to be able to tension that to get rid of that little nipple. So I'll go with these two first. Just pull them fairly tight. So I can do the others on the other side at the same time. I've got all the fastenings in around the back now. And this one down here, of course, first. And I've put one in, just move the camera. I've put one in there, which is on the dashboard, just on the vent. So I can position the other one of those, and then there's two more, which are just down on the inside of the windscreen on little metal brackets. So I'll get those ones in and then it's done, I think. It seems to be tensioned pretty well. So yeah, whether it will get a big puddle in the middle, I'm not sure, but seems pretty good. Got all the clips on. It feels pretty well tensioned. Doesn't look as though it will get a massive puddle in it if it rained. Let me show you the other clips that I've put on. Those are the two that are on the vent at the front, and these ones on little metal brackets. Yeah, pretty satisfied with that. So that seems to work pretty well. Seat belt prevents you from pushing all of that down behind the seat. And I think if you wanted to put this window up at this side, I guess you could do that as well. Oh, hang on, I have to put the camera down a sec. Yeah, so I needed two hands to do that. Tuck that down in there. And then you could have the window up. Like it. I've got the hood on now, on its frame. The frame's in its tension position at the moment. I've fitted these two little press studs, which you punch a hole through the vinyl and they rivet together. I can show you those. So these are the press stud parts. So those two bits, you can imagine, punch the hole in the vinyl and they rivet together. I've got some little punch rivet tools, I'll show you those, that just round that piece off and rivet it onto the other part. So those are fitted. I can unpop that. This piece, the matching part, screws to the frame. I've left the holes in the frame, I've just screwed those pieces on. So this is tension now, that's easy. So the next move is to fit the 10-ax fastenings in the back, I think. So this piece looks pretty baggy at the moment. But I'm hoping if I start with the rear of these and tension it, by the time I've done the other side, I'm hoping to get a bit of tension on that, because it does seem a bit floppy at the moment. So we'll see. I think that's the next one to do, and then come around this way, and then there's some press studs to go on here on the cantrail at the side. So let's do that. Got these fitted now, just sort of stretched it to give it some tension, and I think this little ripple will go when I put these press studs in. So there's 1, 2, 3 here, and then one down here to stop that flapping out to go. So I'm going to copy the position of those from the old hood. I've just had a look at the photos of the cant rails as well, just to see where they were before I took them all apart and took those out to renovate them. Okay, so that's the next step. Marked up the cant trails and now drilled holes, and I've got to pop it on these little press stud fittings. The originals were pop riveted on. I'll just show you that close up. So they're going to pop rivet on. There we go. So I'll get them on and then back on the car and then mark up the hood for the other part of the press stud.